Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Jarl Andruskovic and Arthur Salvorovsky from Phalanx, looking at UBOOT, the board game, which is a giant box, a giant board, a giant ship. We got a lot of stuff inside the box here.
And it's all in the box.
It's all in the box. This does not come in the box.
This does not come in the box, however, it may produce a bit of sound while we talk. So there might be bells and incoming airplanes and the crew shouting. So all those special effects that are being used or helpful through playing the game.
Okay, so what is UBOOT, the board game?
UBOOT, the board game, we like to think about it as a 3-eye game. And now you should ask what does a 3-eye mean.
That's right. I'm thinking of something mystic, where we got a third eye.
Yeah.
No?
It will open in just a moment.
Okay, yeah.
So we think it is, first eye would be innovation.
Okay.
Because this is the first app-assisted, real-time, tabletop submarine simulator, if you want.
Okay.
And that's how half of our design team, which is Artis is half of the design team, likes to think about it. My take on this is actually a cooperative underwater warfare. That's how I like to think about it. So you have the mind and heart approach, if you like. That's we covered more or less in the first eye, and we'll talk about soon more about it.
Okay.
The second eye is interaction.
Okay.
Because this game plays from 1 to 4 players.
Right.
Each of the players has a certain role on the ship.
Okay.
And they're totally different. This is hugely asymmetrical. So each and every role plays totally different. So you can have a different experience every time you come back to play it. Even though you might be playing the same mission, but the same mission as the captain and as the navigator will be completely different.
Right. And also, this is the first. My claim is this is the first game that does away with the problem of the alpha player. Because you have a natural alpha player on the boat, who's the captain. And the whole game, apart from the simulation part, which we'll cover in a moment, revolves around the communication. So it is crucial for the players, first of all, of course, to do their duties, but also to communicate with others and follow orders of the captain, who is the only one who's telling you this is your round.
Right.
So there is nothing like a player's round, really, because everyone's playing at the same time. They have the same goal, but the decision by the captain is final, and the captain is making decisions regarding what do we do, how do we do, and with whom we do that.
What we need to underline here is that the captain decides on the strategic level, right? But on the tactical and on the operational level, everybody has to think, has to come up with ways to implement those decisions.
And make that happen.
Yes, so it was
and solve the problems that the game
throws at you.
It's showing up.
Now you're talking about working towards a common goal.
Yes, of course. The mission. There is a mission. Basically, because it is a simulator. So we're on that basically on that boat, underwater submarine, and we're trying to reach the objective for real-time, historical sailors were either reconnaissance missions, or it could be sinking enemy, sailing, transports, or they could be going to Scapa Flow to sink that Ark Royal. So many different missions, and that's why we need the app, because the reality of this game is such that it creates a claustrophobic environment for the players, in which the only way they interact with the outside world is through measurements and instruments, just as the real people on the UBOOT would. So the only way to learn about what's around, what's behind and in front of us, is through the instruments. So we would need to complete a special action in the game, which is listening to those instruments, a hydrophone, or a sonar, or whatever it is on the ship.
Yeah, that was actually one of our design priorities, to give the exact amount and kind of information that actual World War II sailors would receive. Like they are closed inside that metal can, and if you are below the surface trying to hide from the escorts, it's not that you can just see or intuit where they are. You need to, like from the famous movie scenes, like you would have the hydrophone operator searching, okay, they're approaching 500 meters, 400 meters, Captain, what do we do? But there's no way of telling for sure what they will do.
Okay.
And what kind of vessel, for example, that is. You can only have an approximation from that.
Right.
That's why in the ID sheets, which you will be using to identify the vessels through the app, and maybe if we can have, we may try to open the app now and you can see how it works.
Okay.
So that is, yeah, you see, you can actually have binoculars and then it works as you can show it in the camera there.
Yeah, if you have guys on the bridge performing the observation action, you will be able to see with their eyes. Yeah, and if you have a gyroscope functionality in your phone, you can actually use it like this.
Right.
So the immersion aspect is actually...
Which is the
through
third
roof.
eye, as we say, immersion is the third of our eyes, because the game offers you this incredible experience of trying to survive. Because if you think about the submarine crew, of course they had a mission.
Yes.
But what was their ultimate mission? The mission of everyone on the ship, because the ship might have a mission of sailing somewhere or doing something.
Right.
But for the crew, and you were representing the four main members of the crew with other guys, you see that there are shifts. For one shift, there is another shift. Everyone is in charge of two shifts, every player. We have only set up two, but there is four of us, for four such panels.
Right.
So the ultimate goal for these guys were to return home. As cruel as it is, you know, that all of them wanted to go back. And that is your ultimate mission in the game. Not only complete the mission, but also come back.
Okay.
And furthermore, we have really thought about making the missions as replayable as possible and to give you as many strategic decisions, like do we attack now, or maybe we should skip this little secondary objective and be on the safe side so we can deliver all the points for sinking enemy shipping that we've got. Well, they are worthless if we end up on at the bottom of the sea.
Right.
So the captain especially has to think of the strategy at all times.
And there are many threats. You know, there are markers for different types of threats on the ship. There are failures and electric shocks and fire and gas and lights going up. All these things that the people on the boat experienced and through which they had to go through.
Yeah. And that's the job of the chief engineer. You can see his kingdom, sort of. He has the technical view of the submarine and all sorts of tools to counter those threats. Like if you have a fire, you need the fire extinguisher. If the air turns bad, you have to use your tauheiters, the rebreathers, to allow to purify the air.
Almost every aspect, crucial aspect of the life on the U-boot has been represented in the game. So, for example, apart from sailing and looking at, for example, tactical situation, which you can learn through the instruments. So, this is the tactical panel where you set up the real situation where you can tell which way the convoy is going. Are there any destroyers in it, or where is your positioning of your U-boot? Yeah, as you go, you will adjust this, but you also take care of such things like, for example, food on the boat. You know that they leaving the port, they had it stocked with food in a certain way, but they only could reach to the certain types of food at the same time. So they were eating basically not so much on random. Historical truth is, but you know they knew exactly where things are, but they could only reach them if they ate. Well, it was blocking the access. So, you know, all these things are represented in a game, which is not so complicated. It may sound a simulator, it may sound very technical and very scary for players, but it's not. What we believe, and it's true, it takes 10 minutes to bring up a sailor, basically. So 10 minutes of looking at either reading the rules or listening to someone who's explaining them, or looking up the very, very well-made videos available. Will help you to become one of those four guys on the boat.
Right, and I guess that's a very important aspect that we, I think, took care of pretty well, meaning that you have all you need to become an expert submariner in the box and on our website. So tactical guides, videos, just as Jaro has said, if you take your time to look through all of these, you will become an expert submariner, right?
Okay, sounds like quite a promise here.
while we're discussing the navigator, yes, it's also because Jaro has underlined the emotional side and the little details, but there's also a lot of simulation in it.
Right.
So we actually reproduce some of the tools, navigation tools.
You're using real tools. You're sailing on a real map. You're using the attack disc, just as they did. And it looks a bit difficult, maybe, but it's not really if you read the book.
Yeah, once you understand it, which takes like 5 minutes, it's a real blast to play.
I also like the idea that everyone at the beginning of the game may choose the role that is fitting the most of their structure. So you can be chief mechanic, or you can be navigator if you're more into maps and orienteering in a 3D environment.
Yes.
Right.
So I think that is also bringing something new into the game.
Okay.
So let me also tell you that this is the very last moment you can get the game at the discount. If you order it now, you still get it at a Kickstarter price.
Okay.
So that's a
If
pre-order.
you were watching the video
Just open
at
up.
the time we're recording this.
Yeah, do it now.
Otherwise, no.
Otherwise, later.
Otherwise, look for it on the store.
Yes, look for the stores. We'll be there.
All right. Thank you, Yara.
Thank
Arthur,
you.
for the overview.
Thank you so much for having
We'll
us.
Thank you for
board
watching.
game from
All the
Phalanx.
best.